Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Bitcoin in Real Life. Um, anyways, let's take a look at some of the prices here along some of the charts here. I see that Bitcoin is gone up in value, and some of the other coins seem to be maintaining or losing their values for some reason or another. Let me see, where is one in particular? I'm not trying to point out to pick on any particular cryptocurrency, but I have to scroll down just a little bit more just to see that Steam price. Wow, it's just going down. Anyways, so I guess there's your top 10 right there, roundup. Anyways, I don't know if this means anything or not, but if I scroll up a little higher, you can see that the Bitcoin dominance is gone up. It used to be like 79, now it's 80, 80.1, now it's 81.45. And the interesting thing is, what I noticed is that although the price of Bitcoin has gone up, it hasn't really gone up that much. It's within range, but what I have noticed is that it seems like the other altcoins have flatlined or have trended down in their valuation. And so with the price of Bitcoin going up moderately, and I really say that in all honesty, Bitcoin price has gone up moderately, because usually I'm used to seeing, $50, $100 moves. I'm looking at 16, 15, 20% increase in price in one day. You don't see that. You see like 5%, 5%, 3%, 4%, things like that. So I guess the volatility has definitely changed, but it still moves quite a bit. I mean, a $20 move is still a $20 move. So, anyways, what I wanted to talk about today was an experience I had with one of my buyers that I've been trading with for, I guess, a long time. And it was weird, kind of what happened. I make a trade, sent to the same address as usual. This particular buyer always had an address key that was used, and so I sent the Bitcoins. Anyways, the day after, he contacts me and tells me that his wallet's empty. Shows me a screenshot, but the screenshot only shows a wallet with a zero balance. It doesn't tell me the address key. It doesn't show any transactions, nothing. And so I looked up blockchain and TradeBlock and other block explorers, and I see the transaction went through. So I looked at the transaction ID as well, and showed up as well as being sent, confirmed. And I was like, this is really strange. Everything shows that it's sent. Why would this guy tell me that his wallet's zero? So um, he, this buyer meets with me again for a very smaller purchase, though. But I wanted to see what he was talking about, so he showed me his wallet. He has an Apple iPhone, and he uses blockchain info.io. He uses blockchain info wallet, basically a hot wallet, right? He just uses the app um, on his iPhone. Anyways, first thing I notice is that the address key is different on his phone. And I said, well, that may be your wallet, but that's not the address key that I sent it to. And so as he showed me, you know, his wallet, there was a section on the blockchain.info wallet app on his iPhone where you can archive your address key or transactions and everything. And there was an option to unarchive. And so I told him, well, why don't you just unarchive it? It seems to say that all the Bitcoins and all the transactions are still there. They've just been archived. Just unarchive it and you'll probably get your Bitcoins show up back in your wallet. And sure enough, that's what happened for some reason. Now, I don't know if he was trying to do something weird or strange. I'm trying to interact with this person on different things, but you know, kind of weird for a person who claims that the Bitcoins were never sent. He never really freaked out when I showed him, when I sent him a link to blockchain info, the block explorer showing his address key and the transaction going through. Didn't complain much about it, but anyways, he got his Bitcoin eventually. He was able to use it, but it tells me something, that most of these users, these people who buy and sell Bitcoin from me, most, well, I would say most of the buyers, I wouldn't say the sellers. The sellers have some technical background, but my miners, obviously, that sell me Bitcoin. But the buyers who buy Bitcoin, I'm not even sure if they really understand this stuff. I mean, not that I understand it any better, but at least I can understand like what's going on with the wallets. But it kind of really tells me that most of these users don't really understand the technology. All they understand is they download a wallet or an app for a wallet, whether it's a hot or on their smartphone or cold, whatever. They probably don't even have cold. Most of them use hot wallets. I would say most use hot wallets. Maybe others use, a wallet on their phone with the private keys on the phone, or some way they have control of private keys. So, but I would say most of them use a hot wallet, so they don't even control the keys. Anyways, most of these people are nothing more than users that don't understand how Bitcoin works. All they know is they have a wallet, they have an address key, provide this address key as a QR form or in text, and get people to send you Bitcoin. That's all they know. And then after they receive it, they send it somewhere else. probably payment. I could tell that by these users, they don't hold any Bitcoin. So if if they have no intention of holding these Bitcoins, most likely they're using it to send, and most likely send as a form of payment. Now, after I sell them my Bitcoins, whatever they do with their Bitcoins is, whatever they want to do with it. But it basically tells me that a lot of users really don't understand, how these cryptocurrencies operate or how they work under the hood. Some even have a difficult time in using wallets. And so, and these are people who are users more than anything else. The baseline of Bitcoin users, just don't really invest in Bitcoin. They're users. They literally use it on demand. So whenever they need to send Bitcoin, they just buy Bitcoin and just send them. That's all they do. So, that's kind of something that happened to me today, right now as I speak about it, or recently. And, I tend to think every Bitcoin user is very proficient in Bitcoin technology. That's not necessarily true. A lot of these Bitcoin users are proficient enough to receive Bitcoin and send Bitcoin most of the time. But a lot of the time, they're not very proficient at all. Again, they're just using it, whenever they need to send Bitcoin, they just buy Bitcoin and just send it. That's it. That's all they do. So they don't really hold on to any of these Bitcoins. So anyway, I just want to share that. Just found it weird, that whole scenario where he sends me a screenshot, both on a computer and on a smartphone, showing a zero balance, but yet I can't see the address key to his zero balance, which was his wallet for sure, just different address key. Turns out I did send it, and that's what's great about the Bitcoin blockchain, is that I was able to confirm it without a third party. I was able to tell the buyer it was sent and prove to the buyer that it was sent as well. And that's what's great about Bitcoin, is that you can't, it's hard to refute something that has over 100 confirmations to an address key that I can see that was sent, and obviously other people can see it as well. So it's hard to deny that it was done. First time, well, not the first time, but just the way it was done is kind of strange. In any case, I knew it was sent, so there was nothing to worry about. It just goes to show that sometimes I overestimate the buyers. I tend to think that they're very affluent in Bitcoin technology, how wallets work, how they can look up the transactions and everything. But yet, I find that the people who use Bitcoin the most tend to have very limited knowledge of Bitcoin itself and how it works. All they understand is Bitcoin they can buy, and then Bitcoin they can send. That's about it. And I think that's about probably maybe 90% of the user base. If you look at the transaction volume in a 24-hour period, which is 64 million in Bitcoin, 64 million US dollars on the Bitcoin blockchain, that's a lot of money being thrown at Bitcoin so other people can acquire it to send. So they can just receive Bitcoin to send. They don't hold on to any Bitcoins. They don't do anything. So that's quite a bit. On a different note, my latest strategy has been very simple. It's shifted. It's basically I'm trying to buy as much Bitcoin as I can. Not because, I do think the price is going to go up, but not because of more out of fear. Not fear of missing out, but fear of what the future holds for the world. Where one system is dying, or going to die, or been dying, the old world passing away. And during that transition from the old world to the new world, it's gonna get pretty bumpy. As I transition myself away from the old world, you name it. Anything the old world has to offer: credit cards, stocks, bonds, securities, treasuries. What else? I already said bonds. Local bonds, city bonds, state bonds. Whatever financial instrument the old world had to offer, I am just literally staying away from all that. I'm not touching anything. I'm totally out of the markets, stock markets. I'm even reducing cash, because I'm just buying as much Bitcoin as I can, and it's actually paid off for me very well. I've been buying all the time, but I've been really loading up on Bitcoin since it hit down to, I would say in the 580s, 590s. And I'll probably continue to take on that strategy, because I've noticed something is, first of all, I do speculate. I am a holder. I speculate to get more Bitcoin. And so I don't necessarily sell to get cash. I sell so I can buy more, or get more Bitcoin at a lower price. And my situation is, people expect me to have Bitcoin all the time, to have available for them to buy. And in some cases I can't keep up. On the other hand, some of the other things I'm doing is that I am as soon as I can, or able to, or offered any Bitcoin, I'll try to take it. Sometimes I get a little overloaded because some arrangements with my miners I have, they just send me Bitcoin. Um, they just send it to me, and we strike at a price, and they expect to get paid. Fortunate enough that every time I've had that happen, the price has gone up. But even if the price went down, I still pay it because it's not when you bought your Bitcoin, it's how long you've been trading Bitcoin. It's how long you've been in the game. And the longer you've been in the game, chances are most likely you'll have more Bitcoin in your name. And it's more and more the more you acquire more Bitcoin in your name, the more it's harder to get it. Anyways, my point is, I've been loading up as much as I can, and what I realize is you can never have enough, because as soon as you have some, or you think you have too much, the price seems to go up. People start coming to you wanting Bitcoin after the price has gone up. And ironically, the strangest thing happens as soon as you sell your Bitcoin, the price comes down at a lower price than what you sold it for, and you're able to buy back in, acquiring more Bitcoin. And if you keep doing this process enough time, you're able in some ways to cause a shortage, because every time you're selling Bitcoin, you're buying back in and acquiring even more. Of course, that's going to create a shortage. And then on top of that, demand is always been high. So I come to this conclusion that it doesn't matter what the price is, as long as I have as much Bitcoin as I can possibly get, two things happen. I'm causing a shortage, and then that shortage causes price appreciation, and with the price appreciating, the user base doesn't care about what the price is. If the user base wants $100 worth of Bitcoin, that's what they're going to go out and buy, $100 worth. And as soon as they get it, in a short period of time, they send it out. And so for the users, it doesn't really matter. But what it does do for me is that it does allow me to sell at a higher price and buy back in a lower price and make a gain in Bitcoin. Not really interested in making a gain in any fiat currency, because I think, well, let's face it, every time I hold on to any money, it literally loses its value. Now, I'm not in Venezuela or anything, but I think we're going to get to that point where literally as soon as you get paid in any fiat currency, you're going to turn around and, at least for me, I'm going to buy Bitcoin again. Straight up, turn around and buy Bitcoin, watch the price go up again, sell it, and for whatever reason, um, when I sell it, the price seems to go down. I would assume because if all the people who are buying from me are just users, in other words, they're just looking to buy a certain amount in, fiat currency valuation, so they can use the Bitcoin to send somewhere for whatever purpose, whether it's buying pillows off a Overstock or a gift card, or I don't know, paying for a ride or whatever, going on the dark net markets, gambling. It doesn't matter to me because after I send my Bitcoins, it's out of my control. So, the users, once they come and they buy, they're using it just to send, which causes the price to go down, because eventually where it goes, it's being sold, like if BitPay, Coinbase, your Circles, they're all, or the merchants or whoever's accepting Bitcoin, they're selling it right away, causing the price to go down. I enhance, buy back in at a lower price, acquiring even more Bitcoin. I don't mind that cycle. That's actually what I'm looking for, and it's great for me because when I buy on my end, I'm causing the shortage. The users are causing the demand. The merchants are causing the supply. So I think it's a really good ecosystem we got going here. I wish it could turn out to be a little bit more than just turning Bitcoins for dollars and dollars for Bitcoin, but that's what it is now. It causes its liquidity, its cash flow, its circulation, which is good for an ecosystem. So anyways, I just want to share that. Hopefully some of you are taking the same strategy. I can buy and hold Bitcoin, and sometimes I think I'm better off, but at the same time, what I'm doing is in some way in some way I am destroying the old world by doing this. I'm literally taking value from the old world and transferring it into the new world. And every time I do this, I'm taking a little bit more from the old world and transferring it to the new world. And at some point you feel like you're hitting a wall, and you might be, but all walls come down eventually. And when the wall comes down, you'll just get the gates to flood. And once that happens, could you imagine what the world will be like, the new world? Anyways, I'm going to conclude this episode. Feel free to like, dislike, leave a comment, or even a video response. Until next time, stay tuned. Bye.